Disturb. Fabulous. So hello and welcome to episode number 8 of the Still Wondering podcast. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Chris.
And we are talking about being in our 30s and poking fun at wandering around, still trying to figure it all out. So what's on the topic?
Well, we got a few things from last time. I'm kind of hoping they make sense. We'll just go in order. This one says class.
Class.
Which I presume means that kind of social stratification.
Yeah, or does it mean class as in that the way they did that had class?
Classiness.
Classiness?
Well, what should we want it to be? Do we feel like classy people? Are we classy 30-somethings?
Are we classy? I'd say I occasionally do classy things.
You do. Yeah.
Do I?
I'd say you do.
I feel quite proud of that.
Yeah. You do classy things, but I wouldn't say you were a classy person.
Oh. No. It's a fair statement, isn't it? Did you notice how surprised I was at the first bit? Yeah, I'm classy, really? Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Massage the ego in there, but you're not a classy person.
No. It's not natural.
Who you are.
It's not who you are. There's nothing. Yeah.
What classy things do I do then?
You do nice meals out. You're a bit of a foodie, and you're not afraid to
Okay.
take partner out for a nice meal, and that's kind of classy. It's a nice thing to do.
Okay. So like little sort of gestures and ways of living like that.
Yeah, sorts of places where the sauces don't come in sachets.
Yeah.
That's classy.
Okay.
Yeah, or in a squeezy bottle.
Right.
Like you wouldn't ask for sauce in some of the places you've been to, I would expect.
Well, yeah, you're making me out to be the super foodie. It's basically Kate that has educated me. Basically, before I met Kate, I didn't have this world of foodiness. It was just food was food, and I just enjoyed the nutritional value in that food. Yum, yum, yum. I'm nutritioned. And then you go to these places where it's like 7-course meal, but you see these meals that are like perfectly delicately put together, and the thing goes with the other thing, which goes with the sauce and all that kind of stuff, like actual proper foodie meals. Kate introduced me to that lifestyle, and it's kind of, once you've seen that, it's very difficult to go sort of, it is easy to go, I don't mind going to a roast and go to a pub and do all that stuff, but once you've tasted that, it's like you've opened the door to a very expensive lifestyle, potentially. But I wouldn't say I'm pretentious about food at all. I don't really know. Sometimes we go to those restaurants, so I'm asking Kate what it is.
Oh, wow.
What is that? I don't know what.
Very quietly, I hope, because you don't want to embarrass her.
I don't think I embarrass her. I'm just sort of inquisitive about the food.
You just look at it and go, what the fuck is that?
No!
Ugh. That looks like French muck.
There's stuff like there was it's celiac, for example. Is it called celiac? Or is that a...
Oh, celeriac.
Celeriac.
No, is it? Celiac is a disease.
Yeah, it's a disease. It's the only way I remember it, though, is the celiac.
And this is why you're not naturally classy. Celiac's the disease. Celeriac.
I think it's
celeriac. Is a disgusting vegetable.
Celeriac sounds like an upper class name for a person, doesn't it? Celeriac?
Is it? Yes. Yeah, and actually, I work with a guy called Alaric, so it's not far off.
Alaric?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alaric.
Yeah, it's like a super old English name or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many estates does his family own?
Not many.
No, not many.
No.
Just one or two.
So with these posh places, the sauce comes with it because you have to have a certain type of sauce.
Yeah, the chef basically tells you how you're going to eat that food.
Right.
And that's how you have to eat it, isn't it, really? Yeah. You can't still count some tartar ketchup. So you would very much feel lost.
Yeah.
You'd want the ketchup with your...
I probably would.
Michelin star.
I feel like I'm classy enough to think twice about asking for sauce if I were to go to a restaurant where you wouldn't ask for sauce.
Think twice.
I would think twice about it.
But you'd still do it. This is missing.
Me being me, I'd be watching the other tables. I'd be looking about, trying to pick up on the social cues.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any sauce on any of the tables? It probably comes in its own little pot. That's quite posh, isn't it? And if I saw that, then I might feel brave enough. It depends on who you're with as well. If you're trying to impress someone,
I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting thing as well. Trying to impress someone. I guess it's problematic, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, because you give a false impression of yourself.
Yeah. But it feels as if, though, if you don't try and impress someone... Because there are certain contexts, are there? Like, I mean, the one that immediately springs to mind is when you first go dating, you're trying to put on your best version of yourself because you're trying to represent yourself in a good way because you're trying to win that person over.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of value to be had in just being your... Like, I respect people that are 100% just themselves, even if that means being... I was going to say rude there, but there's sort of an assertiveness, which isn't rude. They're just being themselves, and they're being quite assertive with what they like, what they don't like, what they want to do, what they don't want to do. And I have a certain respect for that, because I feel as if I don't have that assertiveness within me. I'm very much a people pleaser when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I'm a little bit, probably to my own detriment, a little bit passive when it comes to making decisions.
Me too, completely.
Really?
Yeah. I'm finding that out and trying to be very aware of it as well. I'm the person that will say, what do you want? What film do you want to watch? Not, I fancy watching that film. Is that okay with you? Right, like asserting what I would like in a moment, or, or buying a tub of ice cream and I know which one I really would like. But, if you're with somebody, particularly if it's early in a relationship, then you just kind of trying to bend over backwards. So, what do you want? What do you want? And everything they want is what happens. But, you can set a bad blueprint.
Yeah. Because it starts you mean to go on, right? It's that whole thing. But I think there is something to be said. If you are in that context of initially dating, you don't try to win the other person over, then what does that say about your interest in the other person? Do you know what I mean? So then the interpretation of your not trying is, they're not that
They're not that
interested.
they're not into it.
So you've got to try hard, but then there's got to be like a tipping point where you go, that was a trying period, and now we're seeing each other as we really are. Yeah. And there has to come a moment, otherwise you just you get 5 years down the line, I'm exhausted of not choosing the right ice cream.
Yeah, so I really want my favourite ice cream, and I haven't had it in 20 years. It's true. It's a really fine balance, but I honestly do think honesty is the best policy. I think you're going to inhibit yourself to a certain extent. Like if the first time you have dinner together at home or something like that, you're going to put the candles on. Now, you're not going to be doing that every day for the rest of your lives together, are you? You might wear proper trousers rather than your lounging around the house
joggers,
sweatpants.
Yeah,
covered in cat hair and baked bean stains or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's little bits of effort, but at some point that's got to slip.
Yeah.
When is it safe to do that? Is it?
When is it safe to not be classy, essentially?
When is it safe to stop pretending that you've got some class about you? Is it 4 visits, or is it more?
4 visits? That's quite. That's too few, I think.
Because by then you're pretty nested.
Before visits, nested.
I think you're nesting at that point.
4 visits. I don't know. I don't know. It's been too long, I suppose. I'm trying to go back. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's 4 visits.
Is it longer?
By that point, you've made the decision that. Yeah, I guess if you've been around either each other's places, like in one location 4 times, like in one of your habitats. Habitats. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, my brain went habitats. What is a habitat?
What is a habitat?
That sounds like some sort of child's name. Habitat. It is habitat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just didn't sound like a word then. I was like, what am I talking about?
You could have said house or home or.
I could have used
place.
Habitat.
But there you go for habitat. It's classy. It's a classy use of word.
Yeah. Anyway. So I think once you've been to one place 4 times, you're right. You probably are nesting by that point. I was putting that bundled up in sort of dates. So by date 4, probably it's going to be date 10.
You've done a bit of the you might have gone to cinema together. You've gone out for a meal.
Yeah.
And now you're going around each other's houses, and you've been to them maybe about the same sort of time, and they're probably doing the same dance, the same social dance.
Yeah. It is a dance, isn't it?
I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like birds doing the mating call, but it just takes a lot longer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Instead of doing a really like intricate dance, what we do is we put some better clothes on and light a candle.
Oh, clean the toilets. Stick the Hoover around.
Got to Hoover now, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, mustn't let them think I'm a slob. It's almost like, you just need enough time to get the claws in. So just hard for them to back out of the fragility of that early
Get that
stage.
sunk cost.
Yeah, you've made a bit of investment now, and the amount of investment you've made is proportionate to the amount you start letting yourself go.
And then it's slowly a series of events where it's like, I'll do this, and if they still hang around, then we're golden.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes both of you gradually lowering your classiness just to see if both of you are going to hold on.
Yeah.
Until you get 20 years down the line and say, I've been holding on through a lot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
So, I mean, you asked if I thought you were classy.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think I'm classy?
Do I think you're classy?
Yeah.
Do I think you're classy? I don't think classy is the right word for it.
I'm not.
Sorry?
No, I'm not. I
don't think you make the effort to
I'm
be,
not
though.
classy. No, I don't. I don't make much.
I think you're...
There's little things I do, like if I go abroad and like I'm travelling, because that's probably like my main hobby. It's like, I don't really drink that much. I don't, gamble or anything like that. So I tend to go, have little trips away, and then I tend to do weirdly classy things like that, like I don't know, hire a private taxi for the day, which
That's classy.
Never do that. Oh, I'm going to Cambridge for the day. I'll go by taxi. No, it's something I'd only do on holiday, or just spend that bit more on a hotel or something like that, which is a little bit more classy. But day to day, I would definitely say I'm not classy.
What I would say is, by taking that approach, and I'm not, by no means am I on the sort of living the elegance of life, or whatever that word is, a high life, is when you're not classy and then you do a classy thing, you kind of appreciate the classy thing more.
I think so.
Whereas if you got driven around all the time, taking a taxi is no different to being driven around, so it wouldn't feel like a perk or something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what happens when you get super rich, because you can buy anything.
I think
you can do anything.
Yeah.
So where's the contrast in stuff?
Yeah. You. I think you do appreciate it more. I've been watching a program about rich people in Dubai, about expats in particular that are living in Dubai. Some of them are millionaires, some of them are billionaires, and their life is just, it's incredibly classy, you might say, to a point where I think it's a bit brash. I think classiness can slip into brashness and quite ugly brashness,
right,
which I think is quite an English thing, actually. I don't think we like to celebrate success and wealth in the same way that they do in, say, Dubai, where it's a way of life. You have your driver and you're in your posh £200,000 car, and you have gold taps and eat at the finest restaurants every day, or you have chefs that cook your meals every day, and that's just the way it is. But I think in Britain we're a little bit...
We don't tend to champion the successful, do we?
No,
unless they've gone through that journey of like being the champion, and then it's like the hero's journey of the underdog, and then you get to the top, and everyone kind of starts to go, oh, okay, don't get too big for your boots, mate.
Yeah.
And then when they crash on some sort of drug habit or something, then we're like...
And
then they come back again, we're sort of for them.
Yeah.
They've been through it now.
That's it. We do champion the underdog, but conversely, we are not keen on the champion, the dominant one. We're always waiting for them to fall down. When they have the drugs, a stage of their life, or lose all their money or whatever, we tend to go, oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
That's what you get for being wealthy.
Yeah.
Successful. Yeah.
This is what you get when the entire of the UK fucking hate you for being a champion, so you turn to drugs.
Yeah.
It's us formulating that in the media.
It is. Waiting for them to fail.
Yeah.
It's a terrible trait, really, isn't it? But it's hard to get over, because I've got that thoroughly ingrained, That's why I think we always think, oh, Americans, they're a bit brash, but they just genuinely seem to celebrate success.
Yeah.
They have that kind of can-do, go-team attitude, USA, and then, which we kind of find a bit odd. It seems a bit brash and a bit loud and a bit brash. That's how ingrained it is, but maybe we could learn something.
Maybe we could. I think we could. If we started championing each other more often, we would probably have less issues around being reserved, and we would probably be more open to one another about how we feel.
Yeah.
I think we kind of tend to hold things in and stay private about stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas other cultures seem to be a lot more open and discussing certain things. But I mean, I've heard of people going to LA. I've never been myself, but apparently LA is literally just full of people that will talk themselves up so much and big themselves up so much, because that is just part of being. That's the culture in LA. Yeah. I just don't think I could deal with that. It's like I hate bullshitters, and I hate people that are just really unrealistic about what they're saying. So yeah, I don't think I'd be able to survive in that kind of an environment where it's like, oh yeah, I'm writing a movie and I'm an actor. It's like, yeah, which one are you?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Because you're none of these things, clearly. I mean, your flatmate.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, you've been here for I've known you for 5 years. You've almost been in a movie. It's like,
you're serving me my burger and fries. So yeah. Well, maybe we should go there. Be interested to do a video from there.
It would be.
Go to LA. I'd say it'd be interesting. I think it'd be interesting. I can't say I would kind of look forward to experiencing that. I know where I've been to places that are a little bit like that. Monaco, and there was a place down on the Costa del Sol which is just super yachts. Oh, what's it called? Porto Bonus, something like that.
Right.
And it is just the cafes on the seafront are where a lot of people filled with plastic, with gold dripping off them. Yeah, and I genuinely found it interesting to see, but I found it kind of ugly, to be honest.
It's interesting how we get into the games of different... Like, if you own a yacht, then suddenly you're part of a game. And the game is, my yacht's bigger than yours, my plastic surgery is better than yours, I'm holding more gold than you.
I've got the smaller dog.
Yeah.
So you're going to end up like this, aren't we? It's hamsters, basically.
I've got a mug dog.
Yeah.
I've got a thimble dog. Oh, shit.
My dog is the size of a rat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is that kind of game. I'd much prefer to be the person that owns the yacht but then walks out in like my threadbare t-shirt and just like
cargo pants and
just gives less of a shit. Just because I wanted a yacht, not because I wanted to play your game.
Yeah. It'd be a far more interesting person, wouldn't it? How they've got that super wealth, but yet it can be so modest. I think it's another British thing, actually, isn't it? It's really valuing modesty.
Yeah.
Above all else.
Is it? I found it very difficult taking any kind of compliments or talking myself up, especially even like as a person, a human, as meeting other people. I'm quite comfortable doing, being that person because I feel comfortable. I don't like to big myself up, talk about stuff I've done. But even professionally, it's affected me because I've got all these things that I could talk about and I should be talking about from a business perspective.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. And whenever I've tried, and I've tried to sort of develop that ability, I just come away from that conversation going, oh, man, why did you do that? You sound like such a dick.
Yeah.
But people kind of need to know how good you are or what stuff you've done in order to sell a product. It's like, but that doesn't... I need someone else to pick me up.
Yes.
I can't do it myself.
Yeah.
Because I just come away from the conversation feeling awful.
You feel dirty.
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely. In fact, we're programmed, I would say, to do the opposite and self-deprecate and to almost scale down any sort of marker of success and go, well,
Yeah. Yeah. My business turned over 10 million, but
these are just numbers at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I had a lot of luck.
Yeah. I've been very lucky.
I've been very lucky. We do, which is something we say, isn't it? I've been very lucky. Not I smashed it, worked damn hard, and I'm reaping the benefits of my labour. No.
Yeah.
We'll say, I just had a bit of luck and got 10 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true, isn't it? It really
is.
And whenever I meet someone that starts to mention and sort of, it's almost like name dropping, but instead of names, it's just things they've done dropping. Or like, oh yeah, so when I was in my Ferrari on the way back, and there's no context for that.
Yeah.
That had no context in the story you're telling me. It's just you wanted to say that you were in a Ferrari.
Yeah. You wanted to let me know you own.
Yeah.
You've got a small penis, basically.
Yeah.
That's my
It
interpretation.
really irritates me though.
Yeah.
And I found myself. What really like upsets me is when I find myself getting pulled into that game. Oh, I come away from it like ruminating over it after, just going, "What a dick! Why did I play a game? Why did I play the game?"
I mean, I think I'd be tempted. My sort of facetious mind would be tempted to say, "Well, yeah, I was driving home my Fiat Panda." Wink, wink.
That's a good approach, actually.
Because it's really going to confuse them. They'll be like, "Why did you tell me it was a Fiat Panda? Why did you tell me you had a Ferrari?" Yeah. It's irrelevant in both cases. I know I'm being modest, so what does that make you?
I'm a massive cunt. I might have to bleep that out.
What, punt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just finding people that are just constantly dropping those things in. And some people, and I really hate people that can do this and love them at the same time, they can be modest and yet still tell you things about them. And they do it in such a way that it doesn't feel like they're being an absolute knob.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they're doing it. I really can't figure it out. Because some people do it and they just sound stupid, and I hate them. And then some people do it in a way which is kind of self-deprecating, but still kind of championing themselves in a weird... I can't quite put my finger on how they're doing that.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, when you find out, let me know. And then if I'm successful at anything, I can apply the same rule.
There we go. There we go. One day.
So we. God, I mean that went quite deep. Considering we started off not knowing what we meant by class written on a post-it note, man.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of ground. I think in summary, we're both not naturally classy people, but we don't mind a little bit here and there, and we do a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And that we both have this sort of quite British thing about being, modesty. Oh, there's a word for it, isn't there? There's a phrase or word I'm trying to think about. Something you'd apply to people that value modesty at the expense of singing their praises or talking about success.
Is there a word for that?
I'm trying to, can't think what it is.
Well, if you know the word, if you're listening into this, then drop us an email.
Please do. Fill in the gaps in our vocabulary.
Yeah. And do you remember it's q@stillwondering.com?
That's it.
The letter Q @stillwondering.com. Drop us an email. Let us know if you know what that word is. And I think that's probably a nice place to wrap up.
Perfect. Classy wrap up as well.
Oh, very...
There's hope for us yet.
Love it.
Bye.
Bye. There's a word I was trying to think of then, which was like... When you said that was a nice way of wrapping it up, there's a word that people use. Is it nice segue? Segue. Fuck yeah, hell, Matt. Segue. Is that the right word for when you... Because you said that, and I was going to say it was nice segue.
So segue is something leading into something else.
Yeah. Whereas, it's not applicable. There we go. Right.
Well done.
That's good.
That's good.